What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Rasslin with Ryan with your boys. How's
What's
it
up?
going, Mike?
Good, good, good. Not too bad. Just we're coming off the heels of Survivor Series this past weekend. Ryan was in attendance. How was your weekend in San Diego?
It was nice to see Petco Park like transformed from being a baseball park into a WWE event
Hmm.
because they've never had one there before, and so it was really cool to see how they, made the transition.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But altogether, Survivor Series, one of the longest lasting pay-per-views and PLEs and WWE history. I think this is probably what 39th annual or some 38th annual, whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it's the second longest running
Yeah.
one behind WrestleMania.
Exactly. And I think probably one of the weakest Survivor Series that we've seen in a while.
Yeah, yeah, I think there's a lot of hype and expectations put into Survivor Series, and I think that just because like on paper it was a really good Survivor Series on paper,
Right.
but like yeah, I don't know. To me, the women's War Games match felt like it was good. It was entertaining, but it felt underwhelming compared to the past women's War Games matches. And
Yeah.
then the men's War Games match just felt flat. It didn't really make much sense. And I feel like they were trying to like tell a bunch of different stories that just didn't really work.
Hmm.
And it also was just really weird to see Brock Lesnar in a team
Yeah.
because he like never in a team.
Right.
So like I agree with the heels winning. I think they should have.
Yeah.
So I think that was a right decision. And like I mean some of the action in the match was good, but it really felt like it could have been so much more.
Right.
And the crowd and I was there. The crowd booed heavily after the match was over
Yeah. I saw that on TikTok.
because we all expected something to happen because Roman, Punk, and Cody were all there. I didn't hear it because I was there, but I guess apparently Roman told Cody, "This is the last time we ever team. Just know that."
Yeah. 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 Certainly, it just felt like there needed to be something there at the end in order for a big payoff. And it never happened. And I think that's been the theme of this year for WWE in terms of PLEs, or at least events where you feel like there's supposed to be something big that's going to happen in order for this to pay off, and it just leaves you with an underwhelming feeling.
Yeah, and then it's another one of those things too, where it's like they they tried to push certain like stories, and they just didn't make like any sense like whatsoever. Like they threw Cody in there. Like Cody has nothing to do with the Vision outside of his feud with Seth, and
Right.
then Seth's hurt. So it's like, why was Cody in there where you could have had a guy like LA Knight in there
Right.
who probably could have really benefited from being in the match? But also, I don't like that they had both world champions in the War Games match.
Yeah, they didn't have a world championship match any of the matches on the pay per view. They only had four matches in total. I think the biggest thing for me is War Games in itself is it's lost that aura about it now.
Yeah, and I there's a lot of people that are saying that they should bring back the traditional 5-on-5, and I agree with them because some of these War Games matches feel forced and shoehorned.
Definitely.
Like to me, if there's like a legitimate story for War Games, then stick with it.
Hmm.
But like if it feels forced or shoehorned, don't do it.
Right.
Like I don't think it needs to be Survivor Series War Games.
Right.
I
Well,
think it could just be go back to traditional, and then if there's a story that makes sense, then you can do a War Games match for it.
exactly. But that's been WWE's MO for years. Even under Vince McMahon in his later years, they had to have specialized pay-per-views for whatever reason. They felt like, in February it had to be the Elimination Chamber. They had to have Money in the Bank. They have to have TLC. They had to have the TLC pay-per-view. They had to have the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And yeah, they've gotten away from a couple of those, but it's still a lot like that under the Triple H era, where he feels like he has to do War Games for Survivor Series, when in fact you don't have to do War Games every single year. War Games should be specialized in a way where it only can be used when there's a necessity for that, when there's a storyline driven for that. And so, in order for it to work, there has to be a big storyline for it to happen. And number two, I think look at the War Games match, the men's War Games, even the women's War Games match from last year, 2024. What were the names in the men's? Roman, Jay,
You had Roman,
CM Punk.
Jay, Jimmy, CM Punk.
Yeah. Versus then they were in a feud with the other bloodline, right?
That made sense. Yes.
All right. But look at the names in this year's War Games. Roman, Jay, Jimmy, CM Punk.
Cody.
Yeah, you just take away Sammy and you replace Cody, but Cody was in there 2 years ago.
Yeah,
A lot of
and
the same guys, and you can't run, especially when you're running the same pay per view, the same model, the same theme every year for the same pay per view. You cannot have the same guys in it. It just feels like rinse and repeat to me.
yeah, it does, and I feel like that really hurt the quality of the match this year. And also, speaking on the women's war games, well, how Nia Jackson, Last Legend, literally got thrown in there last minute.
Right. It's not
Like
that.
at least Becky and the Kabuki Warriors made sense to be in that match, but Nia Jackson, Last Legend were just thrown in there like so randomly.
It's not that Last Legend isn't deserving or anything, but like it's just like she's so new to the main roster, people don't know her that way.
She got zero reaction at Survivor, like literally zero, and
Right.
she came out last, and she got zero reaction.
Right. You cannot expect moments to happen and crowd reactions to happen when the fans are not familiar with who's in the ring. And in fact, I mean, her fucking theme music sucks. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just that's a whole nother issue in itself. But I mean, you cannot expect there to be big crowd reactions when there's no reason for these women to be in there. Why is Nia Jackson there?
yeah. There's really no reason for her to be in there. She didn't have any issue. If anything, it made more sense to have Bailey and Lyra Valkyria in the match, but neither of them were in it.
Right,
And I feel like it would have made sense for both of them to be in it.
right,
But
right. Well,
but
yeah,
but anyways, moving on from the War Games matches, we'll go into the Women's World Championship
yeah,
match,
yeah,
which that match, I just feel
yeah.
bad that it was placed like second to last.
Right.
And it the crowd, I was there, you could tell the crowd didn't care for it. Like the match was okay. Like nobody cares about Nikki Bella, like
Hmm.
other than the fact that she's hot, but that's because she's made out of plastic.
Right.
So,
Oh my God.
but like, yeah, nobody really cared about that match. I'm glad Stephanie Vaquer won, but that's really all I have to say about that match. That match didn't really do much for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, it just I think we've hit a kind of a plateau in terms of Stephanie as world champion. I mean, they're not doing much with her. What has she done since winning the world title? I mean, she's added the spin. What's that called? The corkscrew into her.
Yeah, it looks like that's her new finisher, which I'm glad because it's a huge improvement from the SVB.
Yeah. You
Yeah, so yeah,
the only reaction that they got in that match was, of course, what was it going to be? The Devil's Kiss.
yeah,
Yeah, both times on top of the table and inside the ring. It's that's a it's a spot. It's a spot and that's part of the lazy booking in which you like WWE Triple H is continuing to try and get away with when it's not to me. I could care less about the spots. You need to deliver on good matches and good quality matches, and people, the fans want to see, who they want in the ring, and it was not. It was very, very obvious that Nikki Bella was not deserving of that spot.
Yeah, yeah, I don't understand. Like, I know why she's back, but I don't understand why they're putting her in like these positions because it's like she's obviously way past her prime. She's like, I know she's still like a big name, and I know she's still relatively popular. Because I mean, come on, listen to the pop when her music hits. She still gets loud reactions from the crowd, but
Right, right. Yeah, but I mean, they cannot continue just to rely on Stephanie Vaquer doing the Devil's Kiss and that and think that's going to be enough. No,
yeah,
you need to have people that are
yeah,
in
they
the
did they did tease something interesting on Raw. Liv Morgan told Stephanie,
yeah,
be like, I hope you're keeping that title warm or something like that. So that I think could be an intriguing
right.
story.
We can go into if you're ready for this. If we can go into probably the most emotional part of your night.
Uh,
Um, it was the Intercontinental Champion John Cena. Still sounds crazy.
still, yeah, I know. It's still crazy to hear
Yeah,
that in 2025.
right. Defending his
Yeah,
title against Dom Mysterio in kind of a very basic match. I mean, to me, watching it on TV, I don't know how it came off in person, but it
it
seemed
ga-
like,
it got the loudest reactions from the crowd. I would say.
but I think in terms of action, this was probably one of the lamest matches of John Cena's retirement tour.
And it's all Dom's fault.
No, no, I'm not gonna allow you to say that.
It's the booking.
Cena,
It's the booking of the match.
and I'm not saying that Cena and Dom couldn't have a good match. I'm just saying that this match seemed on television, it looked really slow. It looked really slow. It looked like John and Dom were just not that they weren't in sync, but they were just kind of moving in slow motion. That the spots were kind of eh. And then you kind of it was just very like paint by numbers. The whole injury you knew was going to be an injury angle. They were not going to have the freaking same injury that happened to Penta happen to Dom. Like that's not going to happen twice in a row. You knew it was just all for a ruse for Dom Mysterio to phone in that injury so he can get one over on John Cena. You knew where that was going. I think it was just very obvious that they were going to have a lot of hoopla in that match, and to
Yeah,
come for it being very slow.
yeah. I think the most memorable part of that match was Liv Morgan returning,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's one thing I will criticize, not her, but I will criticize. I do not like that Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez hit their finishers on John Cena.
They're
I
just
did not
unbelievable.
I did not like that. I know it's probably he probably like wanted it, which is fine. I get it, but I was like, come on, really? You're gonna do that to a living legend? Like, what if they tried to pull that with someone like Stone Cold or The Rock?
It would not go over well. I will say that in the long scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Like nobody's going to remember that. But like, yeah, looking at it, it does look bad. Like it's not believable that Roxanne Perez can hit her finisher on John Cena. It's not.
He literally had to roll for her to hit it.
Yes, it's not believable that
And
even
then I'm pretty sure
Raquel
for and then
would
for
just
Raquel, I'm pretty sure he jumped
yeah.
and then
Like no disrespect to that to
yeah, and then
wrestlers.
I don't like that it took six people to beat him because it basically took the entire Judgment Day to beat John Cena. That's that's the one bright side is he didn't lose
Well,
clean, so he was still like protected. So I can say that, but it was still like a bummer. Like okay, I've said this on a previous episode. I had the expectation that he was going to lose. So it's not like I was like expecting him to win. Obviously, I wanted him to win. I was rooting for him to win.
right.
But like it still bummed me out. I still felt like really sad like after.
Yeah, I think like the I knew John Cena was going to lose that championship. I just thought that it was going to be a better match. I think I don't know, in different circumstances. I think what's really going on here is that John Cena is at the finish line. He's literally at the finish line here. He does not want to risk getting hurt before his last match. I think the risks of him doing anything outside of like a basic match, that was all left on the table probably at SummerSlam when he had a banger with Cody, probably one of the best of his career. After that, I mean Logan Paul, that was also a great match,
Then AJ Styles.
and AJ Styles, right? But after AJ Styles, John Cena knew he was at the finish line, and he could not afford to be hurt in any type of way going into December. Because imagine if John Cena got hurt and that was it. That would not be good. That would not be good for television. That would not be good for ratings. That would not be good for his career. That would not be good for the WWE.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody blames him if he's deciding to just be basic and protect himself from injury. I don't think anybody would be mad or blame him. I don't. I understand.
But he has had to hold himself back in the matches against Dom because of the risk of getting hurt. He does not want that, nor does the company want that, nor does anybody else want to see that. So I feel bad that we could not have seen a better match between him and Dom Mysterio. And I feel like in any other universe or any other timeline, those two, because Dom has gotten a lot better in the ring. He can hold his own in the ring now. Those two, John Cena and Dominic Mysterio, could have a decent match. Not like a banger like him and AJ Styles, but a decent match. And not a very
Yeah,
numbers match, which we saw.
yeah, and I mean, you still had people like saying that Dom versus Cena was match of the night, which should tell you something about the overall quality of the
If
card.
if people are
I'm
saying
not.
match of
I'm
the
not.
night,
I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying a lot of people were saying Cena versus Dom was like the match of the night or the highlight.
I don't
I
think
still think that. I still think the match of the night was the women's war games.
I thought that was very basic in itself too. And before we get to that, I laughed at the spot where Liv Morgan slapped Dom Mysterio. She missed him by a mile. You seen that? Was it obvious in the live crowd?
Yeah.
She missed him by a mile, and he had to sell for it, which obviously we knew why. But like, yeah, like if you're gonna, I don't know, it's just you got to make those things look good. And very few moments in that match, and even in this pay per view, where things actually came off like really well. Thanks.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It did. Yeah, there were some spots that like happened was like ooh. Like EO slipped on the ropes in War Games. I mean, she recovered and like turned into a different move, but it was like some of these spots like ooh, like
Yeah.
it's so obvious that they that it was botched or they like slightly messed it up.
But I thought the women's War Games match was as boring as you can get in terms of
I think in terms of all the War Games matches we've had on the main roster, this was probably the most boring,
yeah.
most flat.
When you think of War Games, you think this is a war. Like these people are, going to leave it out in the ring, and like some crazy shit's going to happen. The only crazy shit that happened was the
Was
annual
the
Io Sky trash can spot.
which everybody loved. I loved it. I'm glad I recorded that.
I
I
know, I saw that.
recorded that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm glad that spot's nice. But again, it's like you said, going back to the 70 Vic Care match, you can't always rely on a spot to
right.
to carry a match.
Right. And that's exactly what they did in this match. And it just, especially in that women's war games, I just felt like it just didn't make any sense for the
Yeah, and one thing that happened too is like, and this is no disrespect to AJ Lee. This isn't a dig at her. She didn't really do anything in the match.
she's, still trying to get her I guess wrestling ring rust out.
Yeah, which is fine. It's understandable, and I know why they're like, oh, let's put her in a multi-woman match,
Yeah.
But also it's like he didn't really do much. I feel like Becky didn't really do a lot. I expected more from Becky. Like,
Yeah. I think I don't know. It was very and this is what Triple H does. They play things very, very safe. And they don't take a whole lot of risks in these matches anymore. I get that they don't want people to be injured. That's the number one concern. But in a war games match, you have to deliver something better. Other than just, oh, we're gonna have the annual EO Sky trash can spot. Oh, or we're just gonna rely on, maybe that wasn't war games, we're just gonna rely on Stephanie Vakia doing her devil's kiss. Like, it's not that's not that doesn't sell matches for me. And I think it doesn't sell matches for anybody else either. Um, quick note, rest in peace to Larry.
Oh
Um,
yeah, CM Punk's dog Larry. Yeah,
AJ Lee's
we
dog.
got we got the news. Yeah,
Yeah,
R.I.P. Larry.
yeah. R.I.P. Larry. AEW legend, the dog that bit Kenny Omega and Brawl Out.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear about that?
No,
Yeah. So
this is
during
the
Brawl,
first I'm hearing of this.
so in the so
Like
one
I know he brings Larry with him to shows like Cody does with his
yes,
dog,
Larry.
but I didn't know Larry actually got involved.
Yes, Larry was actually involved in Brawl Out. So basically, the famous, All Out 2022 after the show, after, was obviously never on television or anything like that. Backstage, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega get into altercation with CM Punk and Ace Steel. Larry, I don't know. I have to go back and find out details of exactly what happened. I think literally like wooden chairs or chairs were involved at some point. Punches were thrown, and I think Larry bit Kenny Omega. That's what I was reported. You can Google it.
That is that is wild.
He protected his owner. He bit Kenny Omega.
That is wild.
Yeah, yeah,
Props to Larry though.
yeah.
Props to Larry. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. But anyways, switching gears, coming back on topic. Yeah, I just felt Survivor Series was like really underwhelming, and especially for it being one of the bigger shows of the year because it is considered one of the big four,
yeah,
and especially because you think they do it at a stadium like Petco Park, like you would think they like, oh, they're gonna want to go all out for it, because it's they're doing it at Petco Park, uh over 45,000 people in attendance, first time ever doing Survivor Series in a stadium, and it just felt flat.
yeah. It felt flat. It, obviously did not deliver onto people's expectations. I think, at the beginning of 2024, WWE was on such a hot streak in terms of what their creative was, and it seemed like they could do no wrong. I, I think Survivor Series this year is pretty much the pattern of PLEs in 2025. Right.
Yeah, there's been some really good quality PLEs. Don't
Yeah.
get us wrong. Like Elimination Chamber, overall, that was a great show.
Yeah. There's been great matches on
Yeah,
PLE.
we've had great matches, and we've had a couple like Evolution. Evolution was such an amazing show.
Right. But
SummerSlam was a good show.
I love SummerSlam. I just think that, altogether, this is what I, at least WrestleMania, like Survivor Series, there's been a lot of events this year. Maybe some Saturday Night's main events included in there where you just felt like, like nothing special. Nothing special going on. They're playing things too close to the best here, you know? But yeah, we can get into the men's War Games match. I thought the men's War Games match was the best match on the entire show. That's not saying much. I think if I would give a rating for the men's War Games match, I'd give it a 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5.
Yeah, I for me, I give it like a 5.5,
Yeah,
just because I really felt like I wasn't really the only interesting spot that happened was like Brock and Roman fighting outside.
yeah,
And then like I get the crowd ate it up, but the fact that Jay ran it back with his entrance in the middle of the match,
yeah,
like bruh, like come on.
yeah.
And again, I know the crowd eats it up and they love it, but it's like, come on, man.
I did find it entertaining when Jay was on top of the cages, holding.
Yeah,
He was doing unspeakable things to that cage, and then they played
yeah.
Rock's music.
And then you just see his face go like,
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
oh shit.
yeah. But as predicted, the heels go over in War Games, and
Yeah, and Ron Breaker, I would say, was the MVP of the War Games
it's
match.
the winning pinfall in War Games.
Yeah, and he pinned the World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk, which has earned him a World Heavyweight Championship match on the first Raw of 2026.
Yep. So the 1 year anniversary of Raw going on to Netflix, the first big Raw of 2026. Yeah, we're gonna have a world title match, Braun Breaker and CM Punk. We can get to Raw now. I think like you said before this, I think Triple H promising a big historic Monday Night Raw, and
He said an epic Raw, but it didn't really feel epic. It felt very boring. It felt flat. Like, one thing I will say, I'm glad LA Knight got the win over Jay,
yeah, yeah,
but it's just unfortunate that he has to be fed to Gunther.
yeah,
But
yeah. But I think it's a huge win for LA Knight because I was expecting him to take another loss. And now I think a good thing about LA Knight getting the victory over Jey Uso is now this kind of sets the stage for a Uso heel turn.
yeah, because we saw Jay crash out after the match,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see the story direction they go with this, and if Jay's gonna undergo a character change.
I think that's what's best for business, as the authority would always say.
I think a heel turn is long overdue for Jay Uso.
Exactly, exactly. Because again, this goes into the Stephanie Vakir thing. This goes into a pattern this year. What does WWE rely on? The spots. Now, what is Jay?
Shocking moments, yeah,
Yeah,
shocking
shocking
moments.
moments, but like the spots in matches too. But like, what is Jey Uso known for?
Eating
Eating and his entrance.
his entrance. See, he Jay Uso is going to be remembered better as a tag team than as a singles wrestler because him and Jimmy, one of the greatest tag teams of all time, no doubt about it.
Right. Yeah.
But as a singles competitor, he just hasn't hit. He hit a lot of the moves he hits are like not very well executed. Like his spear is, eh.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the spamming super kicks. Like
It's not great wrestling.
he gets gassed out like really quick.
Let me tell you something.
Yeet. And then like if he forgets a promo or forgets his lines, he'll literally make up for it. Yeet,
Yeah.
yeet.
Right. Exactly. I think the he's still very over with his entrance. It's just that him as a top tier star or him in that tippy top main event status, I think it's kind of lost its luster a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think a heel turn is what the doctor has ordered for the Usos. I would say we need heel Usos back on Monday Night Raw. I think it's just time. Also, like let's shake up the tag team division. Let's get the Usos back to tag team titles. I think giving them the tag team titles, heel Usos, I think that would do wonders for the tag team division because it's so boring now. What has the tag team division on either Raw or SmackDown have
Well,
done?
on SmackDown, it was the tag team division on SmackDown was doing pretty well for a while, but the last couple months it's been
Take it.
stagnant.
It was well when you had the Street Profits and
The Motor City Machine
yeah,
Guns,
and DIY
like that TLC match they had on SmackDown was a banger.
a banger, but yeah, they haven't done Jack
We
Ish.
we we've only seen the Wyatt Six like once in the last month.
Yeah, exactly.
They're basically holding the titles hostage.
I don't know
At
what's
least at least on Raw, at least AJ Styles and Dragon Lee are defending the titles every week. So at least there's that. There's the consistency.
but it just doesn't move the needle. It doesn't
Yeah,
move.
it doesn't move the needle, and they're having fun matches, but it's like they don't have any legitimate like storylines. They're not in any legitimate feuds.
Here's an idea going into maybe this could be a Royal Rumble match, a tag team title match. AJ Styles and and Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee
Dragon
versus
Lee
the
versus
Usos.
the Usos. Yeah, a newly reformed heel Usos team, like that would be a really good match, I think. But they're not doing anything with.
Or it could be AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the boys of Lace 'em Up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me and Ryan, team it.
Yeah,
Are.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can take
I'm the Sami Zayn. You're the Kevin Owens.
exactly.
Because
Yeah,
well, not just because you're bigger than me, but also you're like the one that'll. I feel like you would just fight anybody if it would just like does you wrong.
exactly.
Your immediate reaction would be like,
I'll,
all right, let's fight.
and I'll turn on you.
Yeah, that's one thing.
But yeah, I think altogether, tag team division on Raw needs a heavy shakeup. I mean, you can't be putting Finn Balor and JD McDonough in the tag team division and calling it a day there. Like, and fuck, what about the New Day? What have they been doing?
I mean, they just had a title match
Losers.
and they lost.
They're doing nothing as a heel tag team anymore. Put the pancakes back on them. And I don't know.
Make them baby faces again. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like But
Yeah.
like yeah, and then like most of the tag teams like we're getting AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the War Raiders next week. But it's like where have they been? Where have the War Raiders been?
They've been
We haven't really seen them since WrestleMania.
they've been underutilized. I mean, what Eric I or whoever Ivar was in that dark match before Monday Night Raw in Anaheim.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not on television. Not on television. What are they doing with them? There's a lot more they could be doing with the tag team division, and it's just so underwhelming right now.
yeah, yeah. No, I do think the overall tag division does need a shake up, whether it's a draft or they just move some superstars around.
Yep, and yeah, I think definitely. Well, we'll see. We'll see what that happens. I don't think they need a draft. The draft doesn't do anything for me. I think it's about what can you do with making your stars compelling enough to have good matches and utilizing the right people in the right spots. And so far in 2025, all this year they have not done anything with either the tag team divisions or any of these lower card, mid card guys.
Yeah, so hopefully 2026 is better and it's more reminiscent of 2024
Right.
in
Exactly.
terms of booking and like the quality and like storylines. Because in 2024 we had amazing storylines. Like every title meant something.
Right.
Like they all had meaningful stories.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
now it's like both of the tag titles feel like afterthoughts.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
And then
Um,
even like poor Chelsea Green, like she won the women's US. She hasn't done anything with it since she won it back.
yeah, exactly. And that's like a whole nother issue too. Like
We haven't seen Maxine since she won the women's intercontinental title.
they have they're going back to 3 hours on USA Network from SmackDown. They
Ah,
I know. So it's not about the 3 hours. I think it's about
it's how can you fill it?
how can you feel it? They have 2.5 hours normally on
They
Netflix.
they have they have the roster to
Yeah.
fulfill 3 hours. Don't get they have the roster. I just don't know if they can fill 3 hours.
Yeah, it's come to a point where they've lost themselves in how to book these weekly shows. And it goes back into old school wrestling, right? The weekly shows build for the PLEs, the pay-per-views. Um, that's what builds the shows. But consistently, when you have week through week, bad shows after bad shows after bad shows, you cannot just rely on, oh, well, we're going to have a good PLE. No,
Yeah, we've had some good shows. Don't get me wrong. Like not this past week's Raw. Last week's Raw was a great episode of Raw,
right, right. But it's about
but it's not consistent. We need consistency.
exactly. They have the
We
roster.
we 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 need that quality of television on a weekly basis, and
And
we're not getting it.
it's not about even having your stars on every single show. You have the roster in order to build out these shows. Especially SmackDown has been horrible. I don't even watch SmackDown to be honest.
The last the last good SmackDown we had was the SmackDown in Chicago.
Yeah, where AJ Lee came back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the John Cena and Sammy match. That was like the last good SmackDown we
Guess
had.
what? That was in September.
Yep.
You cannot tell me that SmackDown has been good this year. It's not. SmackDown has been the worst show. It's been worse than Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw hasn't been bad. It's been mediocre. SmackDown has been bad to very bad. I think he's just lost interest at the many points for me this year, especially right now. There's nothing interesting going on in SmackDown, and I don't know if it's a Cody thing. I don't know if it's. I think altogether, more than anything else, it's a booking. It's a whole booking thing because Cody is doing his thing as champion, but then
He
you can't
but
just
he hasn't really done, and again, this isn't necessarily a dig at Cody. I know I've talked a lot of smack about Cody, but
yeah,
this part isn't particularly about him. Since he won the title back from John Cena, he's only had two title defenses,
right,
both against Drew McIntyre, and it's like he hasn't really had a quality feud or storyline outside of that. Like,
right,
and plus, it's like who else on SmackDown is like championship, contender worthy? There isn't really any names on SmackDown outside of Drew McIntyre.
and guess what? They're gonna run it back with Drew McIntyre again. It seems like it
Yeah, it definitely seems like it.
at
I
this
mean,
point.
they teased something with Aleister Black, which I will say it was nice to see. Somebody new, but it's like Aleister Black. I don't think he's there yet.
No, he's not. He's
He
not there.
can get there. He can get there. He's a great talent. He's good on the mic. He's good in
Nobody
the ring,
believes that
but
Alistair
he's not there yet.
nobody believes that Alistair Black is going to take the title off Cody. You know, I think
Yeah,
it's
and I don't think Cody's losing the title until WrestleMania.
exactly. I don't think so either. But I think they have to do something with the WWE title to shake things up a bit. And I would hopefully, with whether it's the next Saturday night's main event or it's well, they're not going to do a title change next Saturday. The whole next Saturday night's main event coming up in 2 weeks is built around one man and one man only. They're not doing a title change on that show. But the next
I
PLE,
don't I don't even I don't even think we're gonna have any title matches on that show because John Cena wants it to be NXT guys versus main roster guys.
yeah, exactly. Honestly, probably the best thing going forward is probably the first SmackDown of
And
2026.
and you know what I think WWE also needs, how we were talking about how they need, like, to shake things up. You need NXT call ups. Call up Ethan Page. Call up Trick Williams. Call up Boba Femi.
Yeah, you do.
I think I think those three guys are ready to be on the main roster.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I like this, I personally can see Trick Williams on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I also see, and then I see Ethan Page being on SmackDown because he's doing stuff in AAA with Chelsea Green, and then put Oba Femi on Raw.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And yeah, like
There's a
I
lot.
definitely think there's room for some NXT call ups.
Right. There's a lot of different things that WWE can be doing. Hopefully in 2026, do have call ups and the rosters do feel a little refreshed with some call ups. But yeah, I think WWE title wise, probably the first SmackDown of 2026. Probably seeing a title change there because there's no PLEs in December, I don't believe. Right.
Nope,
And so,
nope. And our next PLE isn't until the Royal Rumble. It's
yeah,
Saudi Arabia.
exactly. So probably the first SmackDown 2026.
and 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 who knows what to expect for the Royal Rumble. I know it's Saudi and they're paid, and so I'm saying there is a higher likelihood of there being some sort of shock or twist because it's in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
but it's not a guarantee.
Not a guarantee at all. Not a
And
guarantee.
the and I think the Royal Rumble is going to be really more focused on the Rumble matches themselves.
Exactly. That's how it has been the last few years. I mean, rarely do you see title switches on the Royal Rumble. I can't really think of any in recent history any title switches.
Because Cody kept the WWE title. Like, the last big title change I remember happening at Royal Rumble was when John Cena beat AJ Styles in
Yeah,
2017. That's
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's the last time a major championship changed hands at the Royal Rumble,
you can.
or at least the last big memorable one.
I see this happening, and we can, future podcasts we can get into Royal Rumble and what's going to be happening in 2026. But I think what's going to happen is first SmackDown of 2026, we see a title change. Drew McIntyre beats Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes gets his title back to become a three-time champion.
I could see it. Yeah.
Yeah, but who knows?
But the thing is, I think Drew deserves a lengthy run in front of the crowd
That's not going to happen. That's not going to
because
happen.
it should have happened already.
We're going to get at WrestleMania. We're going to get Cody versus The Rock. I'm just joking with you.
No, we're getting Cody versus Roman
I'm
3.
just joking with you. That in itself, you can talk about because that's just lazy booking. But we can save that for another podcast. We can save that for another podcast. Ryan, yeah, good episode today. Thank you guys for joining in. Any last words, Ryan?
Other than I'm just looking forward to going to Saturday Night's main event next weekend.
Exactly.
So stay tuned. I might do some more. I might do what I did at Survivor Series. Posting live on the story.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know how much I can do because there probably isn't going to be much I'm going to want to do because it's seen the last match and I want to take it all in.
Right.
So,
Right.
but I'll do some stuff at least for so keep an eye on the Instagram
Exactly.
next Saturday.
Yeah. And it's John Cena's last match, and then Ryan will be in attendance for that.
Yeah,
We'll do a special
yeah,
John Cena dedicated episode next week in honor of fallen hero.
yeah. And I know our first. I think it was our first episode was John Cena, but I feel like this one will be more of like a celebration of his career.
Exactly.
We could talk about like the best moments of his
Yeah.
career,
Look,
ranging from title wins to just moments in general.
yeah. Look, before, when we recorded that first podcast, the whole retirement tour didn't even begin.
He hadn't even announced his retirement yet.
I don't think so. Yeah.
No, he hadn't even announced his retirement yet.
Right. Exactly. So looking forward to
And so yeah, and there's been a lot of big moments that have happened since then. So that's why I feel like we have potential to have a really really good episode. So yeah, so be on the lookout for that. Keep your eye out on the Instagram and the socials.
exactly. Yeah. And I just want to thank you guys for your continued support. We'll be back with another one next week. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.